So I just want to do a quick review of this spinner. This is the Legacy Origin version 1.5. So this is a really popular bar spinner that hasn't been around too long, but it was really hard to get for a while and has finally become readily available. And the spinner has largely developed a name for itself because it is just really high quality, really fun to spin, and it sells for, in stainless steel, $37. It's also available in brass for $35, and then black electroplated brass for $40. And I believe a titanium version is on the way. So the company that makes this is called Legacy. It's called the Origin Spinner. Like I said, this is the version 1.5. Before this was the version 1. And that had slightly different buttons that I think some people had some complaints with. With the 1.5, they switched to a button that was smooth all the way around, whereas previously I think it was just a little bit scalloped on the sides. So it's a bar spinner, bow tie shape, which is definitely a good shape for playing with and fidgeting. If you don't like a bar spinner, you're not gonna like this, but it's a nice spinner for fidgeting. I'd say fidgetability on this is good, okay to good. Spin time, I haven't really tested too much, but I think people are saying about 4.5, 5 minute spin time on the desk. This thing weighs 81.9 grams on my scale in the stainless steel version. So it's actually surprisingly hefty, especially considering that it is only, these are 1/2 inch each, so only 2 inches across, a little over 1 inch wide, and 1/2 inch thick, maybe a little bit more. So it is a hefty spinner, surprisingly hefty. And sometimes when you spin it with just 2 ends here, you could definitely catch it and put your finger in there and kind of really feel that rotating weight. On the design side, obviously I said it's a bow tie, just solid steel, no sharp edges. All the edges are really nicely rounded, so it's very comfortable to use. Definitely no hot spots or anything like that there. Buttons are okay. I'd say they're good. They're a little bit bland, kind of just not a whole lot to them, but they are comfortable. This spinner uses a steel R188 bearing. It's under a lock ring, so it's very easy to replace if you wanted to move over to a hybrid ceramic or something like that, or just change the spinner, change the bearing over time. It's very easy to get a new one in there, and the design is very sensible. You can see it just sort of a lowered middle piece and the raised weights on the outside. Not much to it, but all very well done. No sharp corners, nothing like that. It's definitely a sort of a high production spinner. Definitely like made to be pumped out of a factory in huge quantities, which makes a lot of sense because, at that $35 price range, people are looking for a nice spinner and something they don't have to really stress out about too much. So this is really fits the bill for like a good everyday spinner that you don't have to worry too much about. Packaging, just really simple, tin. Nice thing is it comes with an extra bearing, and that's useful with these steel bearings in case it gets a little wet or something like that. And almost no frills or anything like that on the spinner. The only thing is this little logo. I believe it's laser etched. You could feel it's slightly raised. It says Legacy, and let me see. It's hard to make it out on the camera, but you can see that as you spin it. It's more clear not on a camera, but you can see the logo come through a little bit, which is, I guess, kind of cool. I wish they hadn't put a logo on there at all. I like this thing just completely unadorned, but if you have to have a logo, it might as well have a little bit of a spin effect there. So that's kind of it. Like, this is a nice bar spinner. I like the price. I think the build quality is very good. It's fun to use, fun to fidget with. A little bit heavy for everyday carry type use at 82 grams, but no real complaints there. That's a nice little ring to it as you're spinning, so that's cool. Good on the desk. Pretty quiet. So this is just a generally all-round solid spinner. I can't really detract from it in any way except that it's just a little bit bland. You know, as I think some people are like collecting more spinners, getting a little bit more used to the hobby. I think some of these bland spinners get caught in the middle where it's like, yeah, it's not super cheap, but it's not super expensive. It looks kind of cool, but it doesn't look super cool. It's kind of good for everyday carry, but it's not that perfect. It's just like, this thing does everything good, or it does everything well, but it doesn't really excel at anything except as an overall package, which makes it hard to justify carrying it day to day because, you know, maybe on one day you have your really small spinner you like, or you have your really big spinner you like, or you have the brass one you like, or whatever. It's just, this is just kind of just generally good. And I also find steel to be just a sort of a bland material overall, you know, relative to copper or brass or titanium. So the fact that I got this in steel, which I'll admit is my own, which I specifically waited for the steel. I'm not sure why, but the fact that I got it in steel definitely makes this thing a little bit less interesting to me. But yeah, all round good spinner, but it's like a B+ at everything. So you just have to keep in mind whether it's worth adding that to your set of spinners. So that is the Legacy Origin 1.5. Can't really say anything bad about it, but I don't find myself wanting to carry it very much either. So thanks for watching.